Who knows what this flag is? Anybody know? It's been in a few videos. It's my favorite country in the world. That's not America. Because this is obviously not an American flag. Hopefully you know that. Today's saint is neither from America nor Poland, which this is the flag of Poland. Today, the saint is from Italy, but then a lot of saints are, I think my aunt looked up, like 70% of saints are from Italy. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but a lot of saints are from Italy, and this one is not excluded from that list. Saint Scholastica, we're going to learn about how much we don't know about her life. So we're pretty much going to roll right into it. This is why I'm promising that, I can't promise anything, that this will be less than 10 minutes. Not sure. With Saint Scholastica being the twin of Saint Benedict, I totally have some hashtag Catholic nerd twin names if you ever need them. Scholastica and Benedict would totally rock it. Just do it. Okay, so we don't know a whole lot about her life, clearly, from the fact that I only have one slide about it, and we don't even know when she was born. That happens to a lot of the earlier saints, because, you just don't have good records, and then they're born, they're not that significant. By the time they're dead, they realize, oh, this is a very holy person. But we know she died in 543. And we know that she consecrated herself to Jesus at a young age. And we know that she founded a monastery of nuns in Plombarolia, which is 5 miles from this place, Monte Cassino. You saw this picture in the Thomas Aquinas video as well. I saw it from the highway in Italy. That's my claim to fame when it comes to Monte Cassino. I have not been there. But that's it from the highway past. Yes. I know. Of course we also know she was the twin of Saint Benedict. Okay, because we have a whole slide about that. I really love this picture of them. So Benedict founded the Benedictines, if that is not obvious to you. Sorry, my salty, sarcastic humor. So they were monks and nuns. So they didn't get out a lot, because they were, we're gonna be enclosed in silence and intense relationship with Jesus. But they did visit once a year, away from Monte Cassino and away from her convent. They would visit in a small house, and they would talk, catch up, discuss spiritual matters. And one visit, Benedict just said, time to go back. I don't want to be away from my monastery. But Scholastica said, no, please, Benedict, stay. We're having really good conversations. Let's keep talking. And he said, no, I want to go back to my monastery. And she said, fine. And she prayed to Jesus. And a violent thunderstorm came about. So they couldn't go because it was fire. Violent thunderstorm. And also, if you notice, this is on a hill. So, you don't want to die because of thunder, lightning. So they couldn't go. And so they stayed the night they stayed overnight in the house where they were. And then he left the next morning after the storm had calmed down. And turns out, 3 days later, she died. So that was she somehow knew that was either she knew or she just had sense, I don't know, that she was going to die in 3 days, and then that's why she wanted to have one last conversation with Benedict. And when she did die, Benedict had a vision that where he saw her soul flying up to heaven, and then he buried her. And when he died a few years later, he was buried in the same tomb, and now they're partying together in heaven with Jesus. Okay, just like we don't have a lot of quotes, just like we don't have a lot of knowledge about her life. Hold on, I'm going to skip to the second one. I asked you and you would not listen, so I asked my God, and he did listen. This is referring back to the monastery conversation, her sarcastic, snarky comments. I think they're great. And then this quote I love. If men knew the peace good religious enjoy, religious as in consecrated sisters and brothers and all that jazz. If men knew the peace good religious enjoy, the whole world would become a monastery. I don't know if you've noticed this, but people long for peace. They long for quiet sometimes, even if they don't want to admit it. People sometimes just want this peace. And in such a tumultuous world, I'm not talking about, like, no wars. I'm talking about inner peace with yourself and with Jesus. And if people understood that, then we wouldn't have such a problem, and everybody would become monks and nuns in the truest sense of the word, which means giving yourself fully to Christ. Because that's really what they do. They do it in a very concrete way. She is the patroness of nuns, by the way. She's also the patron saint of those who are scared of thunder and lightning, just in case you need that intercession. Saint Scholastica, pray for us. You might be thinking, well, we don't know a whole lot about her life. How can we know what her virtues are? Like, how can we hone in on one virtue like I have been for the other saints? Well, we talked about, very briefly, about her consecration to Christ, which totally leads to chastity and purity. But instead, I want to talk, because we've already done that. Look, you can look at the St. Cecilia video if you want more on that. But instead, I want to talk about her relationship with Benedict, her brother, her twin. You know, they had a sibling relationship, but then it also grew into a deeper, a closer friendship. And friendship is something that we really, really, really need. C.S. Lewis, hold on, let me look at this quote that I have. C.S. Lewis calls it the closest resemblance to heaven that we have here on earth. And even in today's culture, we have such a superficial view of friendship. Friendship is measured in quantity rather than quality, and, you know, if somebody likes your Instagram post or follows you on Facebook, I know most of us teenagers don't have Facebook, but if somebody does that, it's like, yeah, friends. I mean, what do you think? Facebook friends, that's what it's literally called, or people who follow you. Like, that's what we define friendship as. But there's so much more to friendship than just, oh, I'm giving you a thumbs up, or I'm pressing the heart button on the phone when I like your picture. There's so much more to friendship than that, and but friendship is so crucial because we all need community, we all need accompaniment, and even though Scholastica's in her monastery and Benedict's in his, they still made time that once a year. Now, of course, they're monks and nuns, so how friendship is embodied in their life is different than how people in the world are going to embody friendship. But they still made time to check in with each other, that once a year thing. Like, these people are super holy, they only needed, like, that once a year thing. But sometimes in the spiritual life, actually, most of the time in the spiritual life, actually the priest talked about this in his the priest talked about it in his homily this morning, how we have Lent coming up, and it's like, tell somebody what you're going to do for Lent and make them keep you accountable, so that, you know, you don't just you fail and then just give up, and nobody's saying, hey, how are you actually doing with that resolution that you made? So, but friendship is so much deeper than what we actually give it credit for. It goes, like, true friendship, you click with this person on a very deep level, and it's not something that just goes away. That's complete, like, it doesn't go away with space or time or distance or whatever. Now, there are other types of friendship that are more surface level, like friendships you have at, friendships of utility that are just like, oh, we work in the same building together and we get along well, or friendships of pleasure, oh, we like to do the same things, we both like to read these kind of books, we both like to go fishing or whatever. And of course, this should involve an entire another video, but just like the friendship of the good or the friendship of virtue is what the deep friendship that I'm talking about, and those are few and far and in between, and you shouldn't just be like, oh, this person is a total true friend right off the bat. Look at Sirach 6 if you need help with that. But it's just like, we need friendship now even more than ever, because people feel so isolated. And even if you don't have, like, that true friend, that person will come along eventually. I'm sure of it. Yeah. So I wanted to use Scholastica and Benedict as not an excuse to talk about friendship, but it is so important. And I can't say it's a virtue, but being a good friend does take virtue. So, yeah, just food for thought. Let me know what you think. But remember, get holy and have fun doing it.